Hey girl, welcome back to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey Nickel, and today I'm speaking directly to your heart if you are in the thick of a hard season right now. If you are exhausted from fighting the same thoughts every single day, and you are so tired of trying to do this whole recovery thing by yourself, and maybe you're even scared to death of letting go of control, but you know you desperately want to stop carrying this burden all by yourself, then today's episode I created just for you, sis. I'm tying this one in to summer because I am so not ready to give up all of the summer vibes. It's the first day of August, and so I figured this would be perfect. Can't wait for this one, girl. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you. Because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess, trapped in the destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. We're going to talk about seashells. We're going to talk about my happy place. Because I literally could go to the beach all day and just be in the sand and be in my element. And if you're a beach girl, then I know you're going to love today's show. But if you're not, then I know you're still going to love today's show. Because we are going to do some imagery. We are going to talk about some metaphors. We are going to talk about what feels hard, especially when you're trying to recover from years of damaging behaviors with food and restrictive behaviors with food and exercise. So today I just want you to picture something as we start this episode. It's going to be a little bit different than what I normally record, and that's fine. If you love it, I would love for you to share your thoughts and feedback with me. You can send me an email at info@lindseynickel.com, or you can join our private Facebook community, herbestselfsociety.com, and you can drop your thoughts on today's episode. But I want you to picture something with me. I want you to imagine that you're standing at the ocean and you can see this beautiful, this peaceful shoreline that is just way off in the distance. That, sis, is your recovery and it's your freedom. It's your peace, it's your life without this constant mental chatter that's going on between your ears right now. But between you and that shore, there is this massive current that is pushing against you. Okay, you're out here, you are in the ocean right now. And every stroke that you take toward healing feels like that eating disorder voice is just pushing back on you. So every 3 strokes you take, then another one comes back and you're pushed into this familiar chaos. That current, it is made up of all the things that feel so heavy and impossible right now. Like the fear of weight gain. Like the voice that's in your head saying that you can't have that yet, or you shouldn't eat yet, or you can't trust yourself around food. The terror of losing the thing that's made you feel safe for so long, even though it's been destroying you at the same time. And the exhaustion of fighting the battle every day. And somewhere in the middle of the fighting, in the middle of going against yourself in that current, you get tired. And you start thinking, maybe I should just stop swimming forward. Maybe I should just let the current take me because I don't know if I can do this anymore. And here's what I need you to know. Every single woman who has found freedom from an eating disorder has had to swim against the same exact current. Sis, you're stronger than the current that is trying to take you under and out right now. And this thought, this metaphor idea came to my mind as I was out at the beach over the summer with my kids and just like watching the current and just it ripping people backwards and watching the surfers on the beach and just seeing how they were just wiped out. And I knew I had to do a story around this and tie it into recovery for the podcast because you are so much stronger than that. It reminds me of like the biggest push and pull that we go through when we're trying to recover from an eating disorder. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, just with the same type vibe, this beachy feel, is seashells. Because they don't start out all beautiful. They actually start out tiny and vulnerable and they get tossed around by all these storms and they get covered in sand and battered by waves. It reminded me of when my son this summer was collecting seashells for me. And one of his most favorite things to do was to find the perfect shells and bring me the perfect shells. The shells that don't have the holes in them, the shells that are smooth, the shells that aren't discombobulated. But I realized when he was doing that we were looking at this wrong. Instead of me encouraging him to find like the perfect shell, the one that hasn't been through the raging currents, I was thinking about this and I knew I had to bring it up into this episode. All the pressure, all the tumbling, all the tossing of what makes the shell so imperfect, that's exactly what creates their strength and even their beauty and all of the rough edges and the holes and the shattered places. And every layer of that shell is formed through that pressure and that process. Every single beautiful line and curve, it's coming from surviving another current and another storm. And finally, when we get to see the shell come up on the shore, we tend to look for the ones that aren't broken instead of the ones that are. But guess what? They're not broken at all. The broken ones tell a story. And this is what I wanted to talk about today. Your recovery journey is the same. Every single hard day, every single moment that you choose your meal over your fear, every single time that you resist the urge to step on the scale, you are forming another powerful layer of strength around yourself. And you are becoming the exact treasure that you are meant to be in this world. But this is part of it that gives me chills, and hopefully you're still following along with this metaphor. But after all the storms, after all the raging current, after all the pressure, and after all the tumbling around and all of the chaos, do you know what happens to the seashells? They wash up complete. Children pick them up. They go into their moms like me. People collect them because they're valuable. They become symbols of the ocean's power to create beauty from something that simply got tossed around and slammed to the ground. And no one wants the perfect ones anyway, because they're still the little tiny baby ones that haven't actually been in the deep waters. Am I right? Are you following me? Anywho, this is your story. You're not broken because you're in the storm right now. You're not broken because you're getting tossed all around. You're in the process of becoming something even better. But I know what's happening. I know what's happening in our minds because I've lived where you are. If you feel like you're tossed and turned and you're tired of living in the chaos of even your own brain, thinking about what you're going to have next to eat, thinking about when you can eat it. Maybe you're even thinking, Lindsey, I want to believe all this, and this is an awesome story and an awesome metaphor, but the reality is I am so terrified of letting go. What if I lose control when I just flow with the current? Like, what if I gain too much weight? What if I can't handle stepping into what faith looks like? I don't even know what that looks like right now in my life. You know, I'm always going to bring you the truth bombs. Sis, you're not actually in control right now anyways. It's a false sense of control. You're in the storm, in the water, in the ocean, in the deep water. You're not in control of anything. Your eating disorder is controlling. When you eat, your eating disorder is controlling what you eat, how much you exercise, what you allow yourself permission to do or not do, what clothes you wear, where you go, your thoughts. They are so all-consuming in your mind from the moment that you wake up until the moment that you go to sleep. And I know that that feels like you've got it all together and you have all the control, but that's not control. Maybe you're thinking, I can hold on to this disorder because that's my safe place. But it's actually keeping you fighting the current, or worse, drowning in the current. When I talk about stepping into faith and letting go, I'm not talking about some giant leap where you suddenly just trust everything perfectly. I'm talking about taking one stroke forward toward shore instead of treading water in the same exact spot. Faith in your recovery journey, it looks like eating your snack when the voice in your mind is telling you that you don't need it. It looks like choosing rest when your body is simply exhausted because you're trying to push through a workout out of obligation. It looks like reaching out for support instead of trying to figure it out by yourself. And it looks like trusting that putting yourself first, it isn't selfish, it's actually necessary. I know you. You're the woman who thinks that you have to do everything yourself. Believe me, I am her. and you've been trying to manage your eating disorder, your recovery, your weight, your food, your kids, your husband, your exercise, your entire life all by yourself. Maybe some days you feel like, okay, I'm going to be stronger today and I'm going to think different thoughts today. I'm just going to push through this. But here's what I need you to hear. The hardest thing isn't doing it perfectly. The hardest thing is admitting that you can't do it alone. And you've been out there trying to tread to safety in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the ocean by yourself, without any guidance, without anyone helping you navigate the deep waters. And then right now you're beating yourself up when you get tired and overwhelmed. Sister friend, even the strongest swimmers need a lifeguard. And I know the phrase, put yourself first, probably makes you want to run and hide, but it isn't selfish. It feels selfish, but feelings aren't facts. It feels like you're being dramatic or maybe high maintenance for putting yourself first, but actually recovery isn't selfish at all. It's wise. And that is what I had to learn. I had to learn it the hard way, but I had to learn it. That I wasn't going to be able to pour from an empty cup to anyone. And until I got myself in order, I couldn't help anyone else. I couldn't love anyone else. I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be for anyone else. Your eating disorder, sis, it has been stealing the oxygen in your lungs. And putting yourself first means finally putting on that oxygen tank. Finally asking for help. Prioritizing yourself over other people's opinions. Prioritizing getting support. Prioritizing setting clear boundaries for people who trigger you, and saying no to things that are just simply not supporting you. And here is something beautiful that happens when you stop trying to do the hard things all by yourself. When you stop trying to tread, you become the calm in somebody else's storm. You see, every single person that listens to this show would probably be listening to another show or be doing something else if I hadn't decided that, you know what, I want to be the calm in somebody else's storm, so I have to get through my storm so that I can serve other people who are in the storm. Every woman who finds freedom in recovery becomes a lighthouse, sis, for other women who are still fighting the current. Do you hear me? Your healing doesn't just change your life, friend. It creates this ripple effect. And it changes so many other people's lives. Even if you don't have a podcast where you're talking vulnerably about this to other people. Your daughter watches how you talk about your body. Your friends see how you handle stress. They see if you're restricting. Don't think people don't see those things, right? Like, we don't need to put our focus there and care so much about what people think. But people are going to get a ripple effect from what boundaries you set in your life, from what priorities you focus on in your life, and honestly, just from energy, from nutrients. And in choosing to get yourself through this process, you're saving yourself and you're modeling to other people all around you, whether you truly believe it or not, what freedom looks like. Here's what I want you to think about and imagine right now and picture. You're still in the ocean, and yes, the current is still strong, but now you're not swimming alone. You have someone next to you. You have someone that's already made it to shore, and they came back to help you navigate the waves that you're in. You have someone who knows where the strong currents are and can help you work with those currents instead of fighting against them. This is what it looks like when you stop trying to do recovery by yourself and you stop trying to tread alone. Sis, you do not have to figure it out. You don't have to become one of those perfect seashells, because you are still in the middle of the storm, and that's okay. You just have to be willing to let somebody help you survive the waves. So here's a tangible step, because I know that this has been a metaphor and a story, and I love sharing things this way because I truly feel like it's just an energy that kind of comes up in me, and it's just something that I love to share with clients and, of course, listeners. But I want you to do something real with us today. I want you to have you kind of ready and motivated from this message and saying yes to yourself, maybe just a little bit more than you were yesterday. And I want you to stop swimming in circles or treading water. And I want you to actually reach out, reach your hand up for that lifeguard. Not tomorrow, not next week, and not when you're just feeling ready like you were so done, but now. Because here's what happens when you get support. Here's what happens when you stop trying to fight the current and you start trying to fight for your future. The current, it doesn't disappear, but you don't do it by yourself. The waves, they don't stop coming, but you learn how to ride them like that surfer instead of being crushed by them. You get a life raft, sis. You see, the seashell, it doesn't form itself. It needs the pressure. It's not supposed to be perfect, but it also needs the protection of the deeper waters when it's growing. You are still growing in this journey. And maybe you've been navigating it without a map, without a guide, without someone who knows the territory, and yet you wonder why you're ending up in the same exact spot. I know what it feels like to be exhausted from fighting those thoughts every single day. I know the terror of what it's like to try to let go of control only to grip it right back. And I know what it feels like to wash up on the shore and feel like you are straight debris instead of treasure. I want to help you stop fighting against the current and start riding the waves, because you deserve to get to shore with total freedom. It's what your heart deserves, and it's what you deserve. Anyways, what I wanted to share with you today is that you are not out there without a life raft. You are not all by yourself. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's going to be easy. Those waves are still going to come for you, okay? They came for me for quite some time when I was trying to navigate my healing. But the thing is that you can stop trying to control every single wave, and you can start learning how to do one right thing that is going to get you closer to shore. So today, here's your invitation to stop doing the hard things alone and start saying yes to freeing yourself from that false sense of control. Being recovered from an eating disorder, it's not a luxury. It's a necessity. Living with this over you like a dark cloud, it's not how life is supposed to be. I know that feels maybe impossible if you've been living with decades of this. But this isn't something that you have to earn or something that you have to perform to do or that you have to keep up and maintain. You don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to decide that you don't need to figure it all out. And you have to be brave enough to reach out your hand and let somebody help you. If this message has inspired you, encouraged you in any way, I want you to go to herbestself.co right now. I don't want you to wait till you're ready. I don't want you to wait till tomorrow. I want you to know that you deserve support and you aren't broken. You're becoming a treasured seashell. Beautiful friend, you are not too far out in the current. You are not the exception to healing. You are getting stronger and more beautiful with every single storm that you survive right now. The current is strong, but you're stronger. The waves are big, but you don't have to face them by yourself. What I wanted to share with you today about this whole metaphor is that every single time you try to fight against the current is just going to take you out. The current is going to win. The current is the eating disorder. And when we can start going, you know what? I believe with everything in me that I'm going to get to where I need to be if I just allow myself to believe it. It gives you rest. It gives you pause. It allows you to kind of come up with a new strategy. And maybe that's what you need, is just a new strategy to get out of this right now. Friend, it's okay to be in hard seasons. Like, no one told us that life was going to be easy, but you are strong. You are strong, because some of the most strongest people that I know are people that I have worked with and helped recover from their own eating disorder. Because if you can conquer your own mind, come on, bring it on. What else is there? If this episode has spoken to your heart today, I want you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to leave a rating and review of the show, because it helps so many more women find the hope and the support that they need. Until next time, girl, keep swimming towards shore, because you are closer than you think. I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.